Welcome back to Making Data Make Sense. I'm Dimitry Simelgor, Fractional CFO and founder of Business Evolution Consulting. In episode 1, we talked about why your P&L can mislead you. In episode 2, we clarified the difference between profit and cash flow. Today, we're answering the next logical question. What numbers should you actually be watching? Because most business owners aren't suffering from too little data, they're suffering from too much data or the wrong data. So let's try to simplify it. We're going to be talking about KPIs. KPIs stand for Key Performance Indicators. But here's the problem. Most businesses track everything and call it key, like revenue, expenses, website traffic, social engagement, units sold, gross margin, net margin, pipeline, headcount, inventory turnover. And suddenly you're looking at 25 numbers and none of them feel actionable. This is what makes me think about Patrick Lencioni said once, if everything is important, nothing is. If you don't know who Patrick is, he's a leadership consultant and best-selling author of the book called The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team. The quote applies here as well. If every number on your dashboard is labeled critical, none of them will truly guide your behavior. A KPI should do one thing and one thing only. It should help you make a decision. If a number doesn't influence action, it's not a key performance indicator, it's just data. So instead of tracking more, today we're going to focus on tracking better data. The 5 KPIs every business should start with. Now, before I list these, let me be clear. Different industries absolutely have different KPIs. For example, a SaaS company will track churn. A construction company may track job profitability. A retail store may focus on inventory turns. Your business will have industry-specific indicators. But regardless of industry, there are 5 foundational KPIs that apply to almost every business model. And these 5 are the core stability metrics. Number 1, revenue trend. You shouldn't just look at the revenue, you should look at the trend. What is the change month over month, year over year? What is the revenue per client or per job? Trends tell a story. Consistent upward movement is healthy. Volatility without explanation needs investigation. Number 2, gross margin. Revenue without margin is dangerous. Gross margin answers the question, after delivering your product, how much do we actually keep? If a revenue grows but margin shrinks, you're working harder for less return, and that's not scalable, which means business is not in a very good position. Number 3, operating expense ratio. This measures how much of revenue goes towards overhead. If expenses grow faster than revenue, you have a scaling issue. Healthy businesses grow revenue faster than fixed cost. Number 4, cash runway, also known as burn rate. This connects directly to episode 2. Cash runway answers, if revenue stopped today, how long can we operate? The burn rate answers, how much cash are we consuming each month? They're 2 sides of the same coin. If you know your burn rate, you can calculate runway. The KPI gives you personal perspective and stability. You don't need years of runway, but you absolutely need to know your burn rate. When owners don't know their numbers, financial anxiety increases. When they do know it, decisions become calmer and more strategic. Number 5, revenue per client or customer value. Instead of focusing only on how many customers you have, ask yourself this, how valuable is each client? Revenue per client helps you understand pricing strength, upsell effectiveness, and customer quality. Growing revenue by increasing value per customer is far more sustainable than chasing the volume alone. This KPI works in almost every industry. For construction, it could be revenue per project. In a SaaS company, it could be revenue per user. In consulting, it can be revenue per engagement. And in retail, it's your average ticket size. And when you know those things, it will shift your focus from busyness to profitability. Now, there are two types of indicators. There are leading indicators and lagging indicators. So let's talk about those. Revenue is a lagging indicator. Profit is lagging indicator, which means it tells you what happened. But unfortunately, they don't warn you early enough of what's going to happen. Leading indicators tell you what's coming. Examples include what's your pipeline value? How many sales calls have you booked? What's your conversion rates on those sales calls? Production backlog. Marketing qualified leads. How many of those are coming in? A healthy KPI system includes both a lagging indicator for confirmation and a leading indicator for foresight. If you only track one side, you'll always feel reactive and not proactive. So how many KPIs should you track? Here's my rule. Start with 5 and don't go more than 7. Definitely don't go to 20. If your dashboard overwhelms you, it's failing its purpose. Each KPI should answer one of the following questions. Are we growing? Are we profitable? Are we stable? Are we efficient? And is demand strengthening or weakening? Clarity beats complexity every single time. So how do you actually use KPIs? Tracking KPIs without a review is useless. So you need to set a cadence. For weekly, look at your cash and some leading indicators. For monthly, look at your revenue, margin, and expense ratios. For quarterly, do a more strategic trend review. And ask these questions every single time. What decision does this number support? If it supports no decision, reconsider whether it belongs on your dashboard. KPIs are not about control, they're about awareness. Now that we talked about KPIs, I want to bring us back to that quote from Patrick Lencioni. If everything is important, nothing is. Your numbers work the same way. When you narrow your focus to the few indicators that truly drive performance, you move from overwhelmed to intentional. You don't need more numbers, you need the right numbers. In the next episode, we'll talk about financial hedging and what a strong monthly close actually looks like, because clean data is what makes KPIs powerful. If this episode helps you, please follow the show and share it with another business owner, because when your numbers make sense, your decisions get easier.